I hear the word favor thrown around. Oh, I'm doing them a favor. A favor is going and picking up their groceries. A favor is driving them to church. A favor is not trusting them with the biggest purchase of your life. How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Shawn and Matt Show. My name is Matt. That is Shawn. Welcome to our show. Shawn, Thursday, August 27th. I'm going to ask how you're doing. I know how you're doing. You're building a new house. You're renovating gutting an entire house, and you're supposed to move in sometime next month, allegedly. Is that still the plan?
Less than 2 weeks, my friend. Yeah, so we're picking out floor coloring. Actually, yesterday I found out that my golf game is suspect. And during that golf game that I barely got to enjoy, I had to choose a color for my hardwood floors. Do you know how hard it is to choose? Like, I'm a stickler on color of hardwood floors, and to choose that color while you're on the golf course, trying to concentrate on your golf game, it was tough. But, you know, the trend for a lot of years was to go towards the darker colors or the grays or whatever. And I've done that before. I've had grays in my last house. Going a little different this time. Just going simple.
What are you going with? Lighter?
Yeah.
Lighter.
Just light floors. So it's going to be almost a pickled look. Old school. Some people don't even know what the pickled look is. But
no idea.
It's like,
I'm thinking green floors.
You think of solid oak hardwood floors, okay, sanded down, and then there's an aspect of white to it. So some of the little grains will be filled with a little bit of white, so it'll just make them shine. Yeah, it's pretty cool. See how it turns out.
Sounds good. Cool. Well, guys, in today's episode, we are talking about 3 different things: buyers, rental homes, and a free Tesla that you can use for free. With, of course, strings attached. So, Shawn, first topic up, Inman.com has an article, 10 outrageous buyer beliefs that agents should debunk immediately.
I don't know any 10 of these, so we're just going to roll with it.
Run through them. Number 1, my family member has a real estate license. They will help me.
That's awesome. I hear that all the time. My family member has a real estate license, and they will help me. That person has sold as many as you have. 1, 2, 3 deals. I would definitely stay away from that, personally. You may have, like my sister, right, might say, hey, I have a family member that has a license. I do a lot of real estate, right? Your brother might say, hey. But the truth is, they probably don't do a lot of business, and they are going to end up probably hurting your deal, unfortunately, more than it's worth to say, hey, my brother's going to give me some of the commission, right, or something like that. Trust me, it's not the way to go, and I've had plenty of people do this. I actually have a friend going through it right now where she could have used me, but she felt like she should use her uncle. And, we'll see how those things are going. Hopefully they're going well. She watches the show, so I better.
Yeah, well, shout out to that person. And there's a lot of pressure and expectations involved. And, I hear the word favor thrown around. Oh, I'm doing them a favor. A favor is going and picking up their groceries. A favor is driving them to church. A favor is not trusting them with the biggest purchase of your life.
Yeah, guys. I mean, there are so many things that go into a real estate transaction, so many things that you need to be thinking about. And it's not just about the quick dollar or the money rebate or whatever you can get. There's a lot of hassle that can go through to these. So.
Makes for an awkward Thanksgiving dinner conversation. Number 2, we'll get a better deal if we use the listing agent for the property that we buy.
Absolutely not. Listing agent already has the commission set forth. And they're not going to be going towards getting you the best deal. They're going to get the deal done, and then they're going to take all the commission. They might give you a little bit of rebate or something like that. I don't know. It depends on the listing agent. But truthfully, the commissions are set. They're in the listing agreement, and a lot of times that listing agreement doesn't have dual agency. Dual agency means that listing agency can represent both of you. They would have designated agency, so they would say, all right, I'm the listing agent. Matt, you deal with it, right? So in the end, find your own agent.
I agree with you for the most part. I think if you've literally bought or sold 20 houses, or you're a real estate investor, or you're in that 1% of every single line in the contract and every single house that's on the market, you may be able to get a better deal. But usually, and what this is inferring to is like a first-time home buyer, right?
No.
A move-up buyer, someone that saw the sign, called the number because they didn't want to bother their buyer's agent. So for the most part, I agree with this.
Yep.
Number 3, we can find the perfect house if we look long enough.
I just was talking about this to a buyer that I have right now, and we saw a house on his first day out. He's like, do people buy houses on their first day out? And I said, yeah, plenty do. But I've had people say, oh, I would buy this house, and then they wait and they wait and they keep looking and keep looking, and they pass up the one that they should have bought, and they never get over it, right? So I would say don't look. I'll use me as an example. I'm a really hard person to please. I was looking at houses and I'm like, I don't like anything. I really don't like anything. I could have been still looking right now, but you know what? I just said, you know what? Time is now. This is the one, and I'll make it the way I want it. So don't look forever. Jump on something sooner than later.
Number 4, the home's values posted online are probably more accurate than what my local agent thinks.
Yeah. Wrong again. Absolutely not. Zillow and all of these companies, Redfins, whatever, they're using their algorithms that, their geniuses put together, which are really pretty cool. But where they're good is in areas that have homes that are very similar. If you're in cookie cutter communities where one is basically the same as the other, that's where the algorithms run really well. Where they don't run well is areas like Arlington, where there are so many different things. There's so many things that you need to be looking at. And those algorithms don't take into account the interiors of those houses. So my house, I think when I sold it, it was estimated that my value was about $800 and some thousand, and I sold it for $950. So be careful.
Number 5, it's smart to offer way under the asking price for a house we really want.
I love these. These are awesome. So yeah, don't do that, because what happens is you might think that that's the best way to negotiate a deal. Say, hey, let's just go way under, and then hopefully we'll end somewhere way down there. But what usually happens in those instances is that you piss off the seller, right? You piss off the seller, and then they are like, screw these people, and you end up getting a worse deal than you could have if you would have just been nice and been sensible about it. And that's not always, but most of the time that's what happens, in my opinion.
In this article, which Shawn has not read, it says in the first paragraph under this bullet point, the seller refused this offer and directed the agent not to submit any further offers from that buyer.
See, you just lost your dream home. Don't do that stuff, guys. I mean, be sensible about it. And, we can get you a deal. We can't get you the deal of the century all the time.
Number 6, sellers have to fix anything that's wrong with a property or compensate the buyer for repairs.
No, absolutely not. And I guess this would depend on what state you're in too, but this is always a negotiation. When you get into the home inspection items, it's always a negotiation. The seller doesn't have to fix anything. They do not have to fix anything. And if they don't want to and they want you to walk, you can walk. My way of doing it is to try to get some sort of credit for those items instead of having the seller fix it, because the seller's not going to do it the way that you want to do it.
So that bleeds into the next one. If we have to bid full price to get the house, we can always negotiate the price down when the
home inspection
report comes.
No way, man. This is not where you're negotiating the price down. And I've had people do this in the past where they ask for $25,000 in the home inspection. And I'm like, dude, this isn't where you've already negotiated with the price with me. And if you want 25 grand, go walk. And we did let them walk. And the next week I sold it. I got a better contract, honestly. So don't try to renegotiate the contract in the home inspection. That's not what it's for. It's for finding the items that are wrong with the house and then negotiating a fair term to try to come up with a solution for those items.
Number 8, we can worry about getting a loan once we've found the perfect property.
Yeah, you can. No, you can't. Get pre-approved first. We're not going to take a contract without a pre-approval letter. And you're not going to be able to compete in a competitive market without at least a pre-approval letter. If you're not further into that finance contingency or knowing where you are in your financing ability. When you go write a contract, you're going to lose over and over in a competitive situation, and you're going to be made to go and do an application before you submit a contract.
Number 9, all lenders are basically the same.
I was just having this conversation with somebody just today at lunch. There are lenders that you can refinance with and lenders that you do deals with, right? And I was talking to a new real estate agent that just joined our team, and he has a lot of experience in buying his own real estate and refinancing them. And I said, well, listen, there's a difference between refi and purchase. Refi lenders, all right, they're not under time constraints. And if you want to shop for that best rate to get your refi down, go for it. When you're in a purchase situation and we have a finite time of when we have to settle, you want to be using the lender that can perform. If you're defaulting, we've used plenty of lenders that our clients are like, hey, I can get this awesome rate. Okay, you can get that awesome rate, but can you call them on the weekend? Can you get them when you need them? Can you get a pre-approval or whatever that you need when you need it? And usually you can't. And then it's this big conglomerate of 1-800 number, hey, I'm calling to get an update on this file. Oh, hold on, let me see. Transfer, never getting a live body that knows anything about your transaction. In the end, you're going to be looking at us at the table saying, why didn't my loan close? Use the right lender. Ask a real estate agent for the right lenders in your area.
Well said. And finally, number 10, rates are terrific right now, so we're going to buy a car before the house closes.
These are perfect. All right, I'm going to use myself as an example. Do not buy anything big. When you are pre-approved, you're not buying anything unless you're way overqualified, right? But the thing is, this lender is actively looking at your credit. They're going to pull your credit again right before you go to closing. So if they see a big purchase on your credit, guess what? You could be denied financing right before you go to closing, and you could be in default of the contract. So I'm going to close on my house very soon. And we just turned in one of our cars, and now we're a one-car family. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to screw with anything. I'm not buying another car. We will just, scooter. I scootered here today. No, I didn't. But don't buy anything big. Wait till after that transaction is done, and then see if you can purchase something else. Make sure you don't screw up your financing before closing.
You don't strike me as a scootering type.
No, every once in a while, I'll be...
Every once in a while, you get your bird on?
Yeah, I get the bird on, but that's for videos, that's it.
I remember that. That was a good one.
Yeah, thanks.
So the next topic involves vacation stays, and the article comes from The Real Deal. In Hamptons and elsewhere, season no longer ends on Labor Day. Duration of East End in the Hamptons stays have increased 20%, Shawn, the day after Labor Day in the East End of the Hamptons and maybe elsewhere is called Tumbleweed Tuesday.
Cool.
Because of how little people there are, because everyone has left.
Yep.
But now that you don't necessarily have to be in the physical office on Tuesday morning at 9 a.m., vacation homes durations in the Hamptons and other parts of the country have increased. So, Shawn, what do you think is going to happen to the vacation home market now that both parents and kids, is she going in person or is
She's virtual. She just got her iPad yesterday.
So what is stopping you from going to Florida for a week in the middle of who knows when in winter?
It's
just
now,
to hang out.
Now a lifelong vacation, right? So we could go whenever we want. If everything is virtual, why not? Yeah, I think this is a really good thing for vacation rentals. And actually, I don't know if we talked about this before, but I was watching TV the other day and watching about like the Florida market and how all of like the storage units and the storage areas are at capacity because of all the people that are saying, hey, screw this, I'm moving to Florida to the beach.
Yeah.
And so now that we can live and work in separate spaces, right, separate cities if we wanted to, I think it'll all normalize hopefully after a while, but yeah, I think this is really good for vacation rentals, and I think it'll be a boon for them right now.
Yeah, because you have your set vacation, Hamptons or Outer Banks, where I just was, or wherever, season, But now the seasons kind of blend together, so you no longer have this mass exodus of people at the early part of September. I mean, you and I were talking about Scottsdale, Arizona, and just shooting on down, hanging out in Scottsdale for a week. And I was actually looking up golf prices in Arizona because our boy Kurt said he was going to go down. I was like, oh, let me just look up this course.
$250.
It's very expensive. It's like I'll just go to Scottsdale in January. It's
even more expensive.
It's so ridiculously expensive. But maybe I'll go in the off season. Now I'm not saying I'm going to go hang out in Scottsdale in August, but this has opened up new opportunities for vacation rentals, both us on the consumer side of it, if you will, but also people that own vacation homes. Because when it comes down to it, most vacation homes that I've looked at numbers, they're not good investments. Like, you lose money on a vacation home. Like, if you buy a vacation home and then you're there for a month during the summer, and then you pay a property management company and a real estate agent to try to rent it out for the rest of the year, that's probably not your best money maker, depending on the house. But now, if you do own a property or like a condo in Ocean City or something like that, now I think there's more of an opportunity to recoup some of those costs.
Yeah, and the great thing about Ocean City, it's close to us. It's cheap to purchase something, and it's expensive to rent there. I mean, like a week, you're spending a lot of money. I was doing a comparison last year or 2 years ago, and I was like, for a week in Ocean City, I could fly my whole family to the Bahamas and stay there. I mean, it was pretty comparable.
Wow.
You're talking thousands of dollars for a 2-bedroom place on the beach, right? So in some instances that could be good. Now, I've thought about the vacation rental stuff, like, oh, I'm going to buy one of these days. And where it can be really good is you know, a lot of times you can make close to what you need to cover in those 3 months. And what I've heard is like September, October are the best times at the beach. It's beautiful. It's, not overly hot, and there's not as many people. So that's when all of the owners go back and enjoy their properties. But now that they can make more money, I mean, heck, why not, right?
Yeah.
No, it's great.
Yeah, we were down in Corolla last weekend. It was awesome. And we did the Wild Horse Tour in Corolla, where you have to take like a 4x4 car to go on these unpaved beach roads. And there's houses back there that you can only access like through the beach or through like these off roads. And people buy those houses and they live in it and then they rent it out. And that just, to me, seems way too far away. Like your people that you're trying, your market is very small. I've never been up by there.
Yeah, I've been up to Duck, but I've never been up there. I actually have a friend a college buddy that owns up in there. He's had it as for years.
If that's your lifestyle, more power to you.
Yeah.
The last item that we're gonna be talking about today are new DC Uber luxury rentals that are coming to the Capitol Riverfront, also just known as Navy Yard Ballpark area. Some of these are going to rent for more than $10,000 per month. Now, there are apartments in Arlington, there are condos in Arlington that also rent for more than $10,000 a month. That number in itself is staggering. But Shawn, what caught my attention was the amenity package that is included. I'm just going to read off some of the items. A 2-lane bowling alley, a resident-only speakeasy, sauna, steam room, infinity pool, private cabanas, staffed bar, fitness center by Equinox, and my personal favorite, for residents without a car, there is a Tesla house car that you can use. What an amazing service.
That is awesome. Now, is it multiple Teslas or? Listen to how I said it and how he said it. So I say Tesla. And so the funny thing is about this, real quick, they asked Elon Musk, because I grew up before Tesla was a company, and we pronounced it Tesla, like growing up about like the electricity, who invented whatever, and we always said Tesla. But then the new school guys are saying Tesla, and I'm like, well, which way, how do you say it? They actually asked Elon Musk. Guess what he says? And he's a foreign guy, right?
Yeah.
Like, he said he actually pronounces it with a Z. So you are the way he pronounces it.
I have never been known that there were two other ways. There's another way to say it.
I mean, I think I used to say it like. I mean, I've always said it Tesla, but I think I'm slightly wrong on that.
I never realized that you could say it another way.
Yeah.
Huh? That's
Tesla.
That's interesting.
There you
So
go.
my question is,
Yeah.
would this be a deciding factor? Because in DC and a lot of big cities, not having a car is common. Doing groceries, going on a Costco run, going to play golf. I see people, taking Ubers, with their clubs and getting dropped off at East Potomac. So would not only a rental car, but a Tesla, would that incentivize you to rent at this complex?
I wouldn't be paying $10,000 a month personally. No, I mean, if I had that money, I still probably wouldn't pay $10,000 a month. I'd go buy a Tesla and live somewhere else. But I see how it can be enticing, especially with people that have that much money and they just don't care and they're like, whatever, I can use that at any time. If you're charging that much money, you should have a Tesla downstairs, right? I think.
I like that. Yeah. And one of the biggest issues with the Tesla is, where are you going to charge it? And now new apartments are starting to have EV chargers. Even older apartments and condos are starting to retrofit their garage. But if you can get away with driving a Tesla, not having to worry about charging it, and not having to buy one in the first place, certainly maybe a one-bedroom that would most likely be closer to $3,000 or below that, would be pretty cool to have your shared Tesla as a building amenity.
Well, that's true. I mean, like, they're not all $10,000, right? So there's a lot cheaper.
They're not all.
That's amazing. Then you're getting a one-bedroom. You're going to pay here. You're going to pay $2 to low $2s for a one-bedroom. In DC, it'll probably be a little bit more. So in that instance, you don't have to pay the insurance. You don't have to worry about anything. You just take it when you want. I mean, it's pretty cool.
Millennials love Teslas. They love dogs. We saw that the dog grooming station was a big amenity to have in 2014 and 2015. Maybe a rental Tesla will be the next new amenity that everyone's going to start having.
I think so. You see it popping up in some of the newer condos now. They'll have charging stations in there. You see them everywhere. I'm on the hunt for a little Tesla. I like those. If you've never driven a Tesla, go drive one, man. They are something that you've never experienced driving. And I've been in some fast cars, and I like fast cars. These things are like, bam. And as soon as I got in and pressed that gas, I was like, I want one.
Yeah, they'll change your life.
They will.
So Shawn, you can get a nice little studio for only $21.65. And you can get a Tesla along with that.
That's not too bad, because you're going to pay $500, $600, $700 for a Tesla on the lower end, right? If you buy one.
Yeah. I was looking at some Tesla videos on the financing for Tesla, and one of them was how I afford my brand new Tesla. And I watched the video, and the guy pays $800 a month for the Tesla. Yeah. It's if that's your payment, you can't afford that. And he went on to break down his budget. And the dude could not afford the Tesla.
So I only eat ramen on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah. I'm a student. I'm in grad school. I refinance this student debt. I'm like, bro, you are not affording the Tesla.
But yeah, you can get. I've never looked at the financing, but Model 3s start at $40, and really after you put some money into them, you're probably going to pay around $50,000 for them. They're sweet cars. They're very cool. But the other ones, man, with the Models X. That thing's over 100 Gs or close to 90s.
X, Y, and S.
Yeah.
Cool.
Good stuff.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. That does it for Shawn and myself. If you have any questions or comments, be sure to drop them in the comment section below, and we'll see you in the next one. Until next time, see you then.
Thanks for watching.